Hey everybody, what's happening? So let's talk about Shokugeki no Soma, chapter 125. Um, this particular chapter, as always, is pretty good, but finally the festival has begun, and it's time to really see how they're doing. Now, obviously, since you read the chapter, you know that right now Soma's not doing well. This is the second time that he's been next to an Elite 10, or he started off poorly. However, he actually gained in the first time, which the anime ironically just showed. Soma did very well um, because he started off failing. However, he was able to steal some of Erina's customers, and with his own live cooking, was able to do something. However, in this case, the live cooking does not have the same type of gimmick that it does here with the pepper buns because they have to sit in the oven. Um, this is a little bit different, a lot different. And even though a few customers came and they seemed to really enjoy the pepper buns, it's not like they're not going to be able to simply like get a whole bunch of customers with quote unquote live cooking or baking in this case. Meanwhile, Kuga is doing very well because the Elite 10, the name itself holds a certain attraction. Just like if you, like in real life terms, if a Wolfgang Puck or um, say a restaurant owned by Gordon Ramsay opens up near you, like you're instantly going to be, or at least your locals are instantly going to be attracted to try it if they have the money. Um, for example, where I live, I'm pretty close to Atlantic City, and a Gordon Ramsay place just opened up around here, and it's been doing pretty well because even with the casino shutting down, there's the clientele there is still pretty um, I wouldn't say like rich, but like they have enough money that they're willing to at least go out and spend some money on a fancy dinner once in a while. And so as long as they have the right clientele, which of course in Tootsuki Academy, they're full of rich people, and so the whole area is pretty well economically funded, and especially and now they're in the central area, which is like this middle ground between, um, the Mountain View and the main street. And so you get kind of a mix between, people who are well endowed with money and people who are not necessarily struggling, but are still stable enough to go out and pay for a decent meal. Um, and with the Szechuan cooking, I don't believe that I don't believe that Kuga is charging a shit ton for his or her meals. I'm just kidding, for his meals. But like I said, the name alone is able to attract so much in the right like location, which of course Totsuki automatically has such a crazy clientele because of the name alone, and let alone the Elite 10. So obviously Kuga is doing very well, but Soma only holding a stand is not, even though inside of Totsuki he has a very good name because of the fact that basically his entrance was very crazy, and and he's made a name for himself within Totsuki Academy. However, that's not the case outside of it. People, it's not all over the paper that look, Yukihiro Soma is a bastard or whatever. I don't know, like an asshole who just entered Totsuki. Like the outside world doesn't really care about that unless he's done something like extremely noteworthy. Whereas Arena or Elite 10, they've all done very noteworthy things outside, not just in school, but outside of it, especially Arena because of the whole God's Tongue, etc., and the whole Nakiri family. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is the name alone is really like bolstering Kuga. Meanwhile, it's not helping Soma in the least bit. So, hmm, I guess the next thing I'll talk about is the fact that, well, Kuga's now taunting him, which again is very, very reminiscent of uh, what Erina was doing. I mean, I literally just reacted and reviewed um, that episode not that long ago, guys. So what's the difference between now and then? Well, the first difference is simply that Soma doesn't have the same gimmick that he did with the egg challenge. And so I believe that the cart was a good decision because he can move it very quickly and very easily. Um, so when it comes to a cart, you can move it wherever you want, basically. Though I don't know if he's allowed to go through the main street or go to the mountain view. Not that he would go to the mountain view, but I personally don't believe that he's allowed to really roam um, around outside of like the central area because that's what he chose. So I'm not sure what he's gonna do as far as the cart, but he's able to find a good spot, which is good because there's no way Soma and Tadakura are gonna fail. Whether or not they beat Kuga is a different story entirely because Kuga ran out of ingredients, so he only hit such a so far on the ceiling, but with a car, it's conceivable that you could also get more ingredients as you sell them, so you never know. Um, let's see. Is there really much else to talk about here? I guess I'll mention the fact that, Kuga's cooking, we knew this from before because we knew that his, his Szechuan cooking is Szechuan. I don't, Szechuan, I think it is. Szechuan. I don't fucking know. But the Szechuan cooking is, it's very spicy, but at the same time very addictive, all based on science. But we already knew that from long before. Now we're just seeing it come to fruition. Um, Meanwhile, I'll talk a little bit about the flashback with Nikumi helping out Soma. I guess there's not much to talk about, but um, Nikumi is obviously very. Here it comes again. She's very adept at meat. She knows all about meat. She knows what length is the best. She knows thickness and how much you got to cook them before they're ripe and tasty. I don't fucking know. But yeah, there's of course Soma holding her hand, grabbing her hand, which seems to be somewhat of a Japanese thing. That seems like a Japanese thing because I don't see that anywhere else. But she gets obviously very very flustered. She's like, don't suddenly grab my hand because I might just grab for your meat if you do that. You know. uh, no. But yeah, obviously it's a very good it's a very good dish. Both Nikumi and Tadakura are like, this is really good. Um, and even Kuga says like, this is not a bad idea at all. It really isn't. But it's not like, but he's not doing well because it's just not the same. It's not the same as a Shokugeki judge in or a dispute inside Totsuki Academy. These are customers outside it. Okay, so I think that's about it. Um, um, so yeah, I guess that'll be about it. I'm about to go watch the Dragon Ball Super episode, so wrap this up. This chapter was very good um, because I don't. I mean, it's fine when Soma just outright like destroys his opponents, but when it comes to like an Elite Ten spot, it's not. It wouldn't be realistic if he just destroyed him because he has to really work at it and really like run into a lot of roadblocks because if he does win, it'll make it that much better. Because Soma, like the whole point of Soma's character is he fails a lot in order to eventually come up with something, a winning strategy, and that's just wow. Um, that's why Soma is such an amazing character, and he's become even less of a Gary Stu as the manga's progressed. So, which is awesome. That's exactly what you want from a main character, is not Gary Stu status, unless it's pulled off correctly, like Sinbad from Magi. I'm rambling. That's it. This is a very good chapter. Can't wait to see more. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time.